Hello, people. Welcome to the Solution Challenge 2021 info session. I think it's been a long time since we had events at DSC SREC. There were semesters going on. So, happy evening, and we are back. DSC SREC is back with another event. So, this time it's going to be more practical, it's going to be more real. We are going to solve solutions, we are going to solve questions that are being asked in our society. So without any ado, let's get into the session. So again, welcome to the info session. So what are we going to cover today? We'll be having an overview like what solution challenges, and then we'll see what are the prizes and what are the judging criteria, the timeline for the program, and resources. Like you, there are certain resources that the DSC, the developer student clubs from Google, they provide. There are study materials. So we'll be looking one after the other. So, what solution challenge is actually like this is an annual event conducted by Google. Every year they conduct a solution challenge, and this is more specific to any of the developer student clubs in and around in and around the globe. So this is an annual global event that's been conducted by Google, and this year, like they give you certain problems like society problems, and we'll have to find solutions for that through the technologies that we have. Like you know that there are a lots of advancements in technologies, there are a lots of uh, everyday updates. Every day someone is building something new, every day someone is solving someone else problem. So using that technology, how can we accept, or how can we give a solution to a normal person, like for a common citizen of our country, or the next one, your solution that will impact the next million plus users. So every year there is a theme provided to us, and this year the theme that's provided to us is the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So this is the theme that we have been given by the Google for this year. And what is a sustainable development goal means? A sustainable development goal means that you develop something, like for example, what is sustainable? Sustaining means it has to go for a long period of time. A long period of time, it has to be that the solution that you give should be addressed to that particular problem. Let's take for example, you know, this particular situation and the century that we are living, we have shortage for good water, we have shortage for good farming products, we have shortage for everything. And the reason behind this is like, one major reason is we developed using the technologies, we gave solution to a particular problem, but that particular problem, the solution that we gave was not a sustainable one. So then United Nations, they came together with 17 sustainable development goals, and we'll have to solve them. Again, since it's been conducted by Google, we'll be using any one of the Google technologies along with the other technologies that we require. So these are the 17 goals. For example, no poverty, zero hunger, good health. So like this, there are 17 problem statements. So you could choose any one of these problem statements. For example, you take no poverty, like during if you have been following Google's newsletters on, there was one particular lady who collects all wastes. Like every day we make a lot of food, and at the end of the day we don't complete the entire food. There are some wastages. So that particular woman, she developed an app using Google technologies. And what is the functionality of that app? I have some extra food in my house, I contact them through their app, they come to my house, they pick up the food, and they give it to a child, they give it to people who actually require that food. So this is something, a sustainable development, this is something, a great solution. Like if you calculate the number of food that we waste every day, we can actually feed half of the poverty people in our country. So this is one such example. So like that, you could choose any of these 17 problems, and any solution is in specific to this solution challenge. You will have to choose any one of these 17 only. You are not allowed to go above out of these 17 rules. So next, what are the prizes and how this program happens? So initially, like by end of March 31st, you will be submitting your solutions, your whatever you have built for that particular problem. You will be submitting it. So out of that, whoever have submitted globally, there will be top 50 teams selected. So after that top 50 teams, if you are shortlisted within the top 50 teams, then you will be having mentorships, and you will have, like, it will be one-to-one mentorships that will be provided to your team from the Google. And out of that top 50 teams, they shortlist the next 10 top 10 finalists globally. So every solution they challenge, your solutions would be displayed to the entire globe. Like previously 2020 solution, they challenged, we had one team from India, a person, like he did a app, he was a single person in his entire team. So you could be a single person to find a solution, or you can be a team up to 4 members per team. So out of that top 10 finalists, we move again ahead, and we select top three finalists. And depending on the stages where you come across, your prices varies. So this is the structure of the program. So next, what is the judging criteria, and on what basis do they judge your solution? So if you take a scale of 100, out of 100, the 60 percentage of your marks or of your grades are it depends on the impact your solution creates. It's more important, rather than people who use the solution, they just use your solution, they don't see what technology is behind, or they don't see what you have coded at the back end. But they always look for the solution. Is that solution solving my particular problem? That is the only thing the user looks. But as a developer, as engineers or developers, we know that how important a front end is. Same and equal importance is being given to back end. The data security, how you handle your data, how the functionality happens, the business models behind your app or web, anything that you do. So as a search hackathon, we have 40% of your marks will be graded depending on the technological stack, what technology stack you are using. So if we go in depth, the first, if you see the impact, the 60 points are given to your impact, and out of which 10 points, how is your solution impacting that particular problem. For example, you can take a problem, say example, you have a problem A, and you are giving a solution B, which is partly answering problem A, but majorly covering some other solution. That is not a good solution that you provide. So what is a good solution? If you have a problem A and you have a solution B, that particular solution B should always, every time, focus on that problem. It should completely eradicate that particular problem from the common citizens. So that is how you find a solution. So how impactful your solution is it actually changing a life of a user? Every developer who builds a solution, he always thinks, will this particular app be useful to the end user? We always have questions, and then we'll have to find a solution. Never ever find a question for your solution that you're having. I'll give you certain insights on how to go about this in the upcoming slides. So that's the judging criteria and timeline. So now you know how the program goes. So what you have to do, how you have to do are these timelines. So first, you should definitely be part of DSC SREC, any one of the developer student clubs. You have to be part of that. For example, you'll have to be a member. So how to be a member of DSC SREC? There's something called events platform DSC. I can show you that. I can show that one to you. DSC.community.dev. If you go there and search Sri Ramakrishna Engineering College, you will have our dedicated page for our club, and from there you can join in as a member in our club. So that is the very first step that you do. So once you join in, we get your details from that event, and from there we'll be sending a personalized mail to you where we'll give you the links where you have to go and register. So first you have to join the SREC, and then we'll give you a registration link. Through that registration link, you will have to first register your solution on what problem you're choosing and what solution you're going to build. And then you have to form a team. For a team, it can be up to 4 people per team, or a single person also can participate. So having said a team, you can never ever give two solutions. One person is allowed to submit one solution. Either he can submit it individually, or he can be part of a team and he can submit. You can't say like in person individually I'm submitting one solution, and as a team I'm part of another team which is submitting another solution. That is not allowed. And when people are scrutinizing, you will be disqualified. So one person, one solution, one registration. So that is how it goes. And you'll next you'll have to select either one of those 17 sustainable development goals that I mentioned previously. So you'll have to choose any one. So then what next? This is how you get. This is the getting started stage. And what next? Obviously, you have to design and you have to build your solution. So first, identify a solution. You choose a problem and identify a solution for that particular problem. Identify a solution that will address that problem. Identify a solution that will create the impact. Identify a solution that will give you the next million plus users, that will impact the next million plus users in globally. So then you have to first identify a solution. You have brainstorm sessions with your, if you're a team, have brainstorm sessions, have design thinking, how UI UX can be designed. You can have all those things. And what next? Then you have to learn your technological stack. Not that everyone are comfortable with every technologies that are available. Few are good at app development, few are good at web development, few are good at AIML. So there are different domains. Few are good at deploying things at Google at cloud. So there are many technology stacks. So which technology you are using? First, you learn the core of that technology. First, learn the fundamentals of that technology, and after learning and covering the fundamentals, start building. So that is called learn and build. So obviously, for any solution, there is something called front end and a back end. So what does front end mean? What I see, what people see visually in your, for example, you take an app, what I see visually. For example, you take Google Map, the map that we see. But what is the back end? What happens if I click a button? What happens if I give a send request? What happens if I log into your system? What happens if a user logs out? The back end stuff. What happens? The business models are all binded in the back end. So learn both front end and back end. And I would personally advise, if you're forming a team, make sure you have evenly split out members. Like for example, if there are 4 in a team, make sure that 2 are concentrating on front end and 2 are concentrating on back end, so that your solution is very scalable. You know that if one of a team member is also not available, the other one can substitute them. So that is how you build it. So be very, very careful and cautious while selecting your team members, and make sure that you choose the right members for your team and with the right technical background. So that's one thing. And then what happens is next you have to test your solution. So once you learn and build your solution is now ready. So what next is, obviously you have to test your solution. Is my solution correct? Is the solution working the way it has to work? Is the solution addressing that particular problem? So that is the next thing. And then obviously you give the solution to a user. End user uses your solution in real time, and if he finds any suggestions, if he gives you any suggestions, for example, you are giving an app, you're showing this app, I have built this app, use it for 1 month and give me your feedback. So you're giving the beta version, they normally call it. So what happens once the user sees and he finds like there are too many buttons in one particular main activity itself, so he feels that the user may get confused, and if he's giving you a suggestion, then you'll have to iterate your app, you'll have to iterate your entire design process, you'll have to iterate your code, and you have to, every time it has update. The update never ends for any particular solution. You see, for example, you take YouTube that you people are watching right now, the YouTube that it was at the beginning and the YouTube that is now that we see now, there is a huge difference, there is a huge advancement, there is a huge user friendly things happening, there are huge resources being generated every day. So what does this mean is, right from the day they deployed YouTube, right from the day they started YouTube, every day update is going again and again, on and on. Sometimes you may get bugs, sometimes you may feel for example, your app might crash at some point of view. So at that time, what happens, like the developers are being notified, hey, look, if I use your web page at Mozilla Firefox, it's breaking at this stage. If I use your website at Chrome, your web app is breaking at this stage. So once the user is being the developer is being notified about the bugs, obviously the developer again, he reiterates the code, he sees where have I gone wrong, is there any loop that's breaking out, is there something that's going into an infinite loop. So all these things the developer checks again and again he learns, again he tests, again he deploys. So this is a continuous process for any solution for any given technology. So and then what next is your deadlines, the submissions and judging. So by March 31st, you will be requested to submit your solutions. So by March 31st is your deadline to submit your solutions. So you will have to do a demo video of about 5 minutes or so, and you have to show your team member. You'll have to introduce yourself. We'll give you the format of how you'll have to do your videos, so that it's very unique. And there are DSCSREC, the core team are there. The non-technical core team people are also there. If you need any sort of help in video editing, or you need any sort of ideas on how to make your video very crisp, and how you can convince that your solution is the best, every single aspect plays a major role in making you to be the top member of top 50 team. So any help, DSCSREC is always open. You can contact either me or the team core team members. There are about 11 core team members in DSCSREC. You can contact them. And if you want to contact me, I'll be most active at LinkedIn. And apart from that, I'll be sharing my contact details also through the mail once you register. So you can call me at any time. So then what happens? Then the top 50 team is being shortlisted on May. Then between May to June, I told you there is a mentoring session that's from Google to your particular team. So that is how it happens here. So from May to June, there is the deep mentoring session. So the people will come and mentor, like you will have a mentor from Google, a developer from Google. He'll be saying, hey, you, this code is something is more complicated. You can try to iterate this code again and again. You to break at some stage, make your code more optimizable, make your code more scalable, make your code more easy to deploy in cloud. So they'll give the industry insights to you. So then after that, the top 10 teams are announced at July, and at August you'll be having a live event to announce the top three people. Google will announce the top three teams globally for this complete solution challenge, and then we wrap up the event. So this is the timeline and how the event happens. So next, the resources that we provide. There are a lot of self-placed code labs that the Google is providing us for any technology or for any technical aspect you work with. For Android, we recently concluded our Android static jams, and we gave you lots of self-placed course, and people, few did and few were not. Many were not able to do due to their semester exams and the end semester works. So yeah, if you want to go with Android development, there are self-paced courses. We'll be sharing all these resources to your mail once you register. At the end of this session, I'll be giving you a link. People will put the core team will put a link in your comment section, so you'll have to go and register yourself in that. Once you're registered, we'll be giving you the further details. So there are a lot of self-placed courses, code labs. For example, if you want to build a Flutter app, which is a cross-platform of app, generally if you build an app for Android, you'll have to build a separate app, and for Apple you'll have to build a separate app. The code and everything is totally different. So to minimize this, to make developers more productive, Flutter came into the game. So it's a cross platform. You develop one time, you code one time, that runs on both Apple and Android. If you want Flutter, there are self-placed courses for Flutter. And for every single thing, if you need a web development, you want to build a website, you need to know the technical stack. We have also a self-placed code for code labs for web page. And for example, if you want to go with build actions or neural networks, TensorFlow, anything, there are self-placed courses which you can access for free once you're registered to this program. So this is one thing. And then there is an online support and mentorship throughout the event. So once you register for the solution challenge, soon within a week you will receive a link from Google for this Parthenia platform. So this is something similar to Slack. You can communicate with the real Google developers. You can communicate with them. If you have any technical doubts, you can ask them. Or if you have any user interface doubts, how I can make this app more useful, or if your code is being crashed at some point of time and you don't find a solution, you can contact them. So there is an online support and mentorship that will be given regularly to you from Google until the solution challenge is completed. But only thing is, only you will get the access link for this particular platform only, and if you register through the link that we give at the end of this session. And then suppose you're using some cloud services from Google and you want to test it. you know that obviously Google Cloud or any cloud platform you take, there is a particular free tier limit, and above that you will have to pay. So the Google has come up like in particular for this solution challenge. If you want to deploy your apps in, if you want to deploy your app or develop web page or the ML model or whatever that you want to deploy in cloud, if you need more free credits, the Google Cloud is giving you a free credit, like how you can redeem your free credit. So this again, once you register, you will get a link to your email address, and in that link there will be given instructions, will be given like how you can use, how you can redeem your Google Cloud for free, the credits for free. So using that for the testing purposes, you can do all those things using that given link. So this is like how you redeem, like once you, yeah, I actually checked the cloud, is India eligible for this particular program, and yes, India is eligible for this particular free credits for deploying your solutions on cloud. And Google Cloud, obviously any solution that you deploy, at the end of the day you will move to cloud, because that's a more a scalable solution. It is more a dependable one. You don't take care of the hardware side. The only thing that you take care is the security part. And then so that wraps up the request, like what resources that we share, how the program goes. If you have any doubts or any queries, you can put up in the comment section. I'll be answering them at the end of the session. So moving on to certain general questions. I personally have attended few hackathons, and I personally have done few projects, and I am doing. So I have connections with the developers in industry developers, and I get every day I get insights from them. So everyone will have this doubt: how should I start? So you are so vague to this hackathon environment or for this challenge environment, so you might be new to this type of a challenge. So how do I start? So from my personal experience, I can tell you this: don't find questions to your already existing solutions. So you already have a solution, and don't try to find a question for that particular solution, or don't try to create that question among the users and give your solution. That is never ever, and that's not ethical too, and that is not going to help you for a long run. Always find a question, always identify what the problem is, what actually people are having trouble with, and then find a solution for that particular problem. This is the first and major thing. Like if you want to know how to start, this is how you start. Find a problem. How do I find a problem? You, for example, you know, in India farmers are protesting for about 90 to 90 odd days, and you could actually find a solution, like how you can, like obviously the government has told it's going to go to the private sector. So how do you make that point advantage for that farmers? So how you can give a solution to a farmers? For example, you can create an app and give to the farmers, like the farmer can use that app, and the people can directly buy from that farmer, in order the farmer to go and for every particular farmer you can give an app, your app, so that the users can directly purchase from the farmer. So the farmer need not to depend on a third party, or need not to depend on the so-called corporates of our country. So this is something, some solution that you can give to those people, to the people for protest. And there are, if you see, look at the 17 development goals, every particular domain has a very distinctive and has a lot of problems that are not yet answered. Find the problems, find the questions, ask your family members, ask your mother, ask your father, ask your friends. Look at the environment, turn your heads up, look around your environment. You will find some problems. Definitely everyone are surrounded with problems. It's only that no one find the apt solution for that particular question. So find a question and then find the answer for that question. Never ever write your answer and then search what is the question for that particular answer. So this is how you start. Find a problem. And then where do you start? Always remember, before you being a developer, you are a user. At any given point of time, you are a user first and then a developer. So any app that you build, also you might also be a user for the app that you are building. For example, you take Google Map. People at Google, they've developed that Google Maps. It doesn't mean that they don't use Google Map. They are also a user for that particular app. So always remember that before you being a developer, you are a user. So what do you expect? For example, Let's take in this case, there's a Google Classroom that we all use for our due to this lockdown situation. All these Google Classrooms has been emerged. So how good you can develop that. For example, you could bring in a video feature into the meet into the Google Classroom itself. How well you can identify what are all the hard things that you face during using the Google Classroom. You could report that, you can find a alternative solution for that particular problem. So before you being a developer, you are a user. Any app you create, at the end of the day, you too will use that app. Always remember this, and then find a solution. So there is something called testers. There are some software testers everywhere for any solution. So what actually they do, there are few people to test the code, and there are few people to test your output, the app. For example, you build an app, there are few people, like for 1 month they use the app manually, they use it real time, they call it beta versions, like between before every solutions are deployed to the entire code base, to the entire user base. They first give a beta version. A beta version is something like testing version, that is not the stable release. So before every update from Google, there is something called beta or beta release. The beta release is for testing purpose. So there are few users who sign up themselves for beta. If you use the Google App Store, I'm sorry, the Google Play Store, so there you can see join for beta versions. So that is how first they test before they release a stable version. So you are a developer before being a user. So if you are clear with these two questions, how and where should I start, then the day is yours. And never ever worry of failing something. Never ever fear the failure. The more you fail, the more convincing your success will be in future. The more you fail, the more you learn, and through your learnings, you become success. Every big monsters, every big the big shots in our technical in this technological world, everyone have failed tons and tons of time, and then they have come to this situation. So never. I recently saw a post from one of my seniors, so one of my colleagues, sorry, one of my friends. So what the coach told was, never ever compare your chapter 1 with someone else chapter 10, because they have completed chapters 1 to 9, and then they are now at chapter 10. You can't directly jump to the chapter 10 unless you complete those first 9 chapters. So that is how the entire competition is. So don't compare your beginning with someone else who's running the midway. Always your beginning is your beginning, and you are the one who's going to decide your future. So having said that, I think we'll wrap up. So we can't wait to see what you build. So I encourage everyone who's watching this, or everyone who's gonna watch later, to please register yourself in this particular event. It'll be very useful for you. It'll be a good experience. It'll be a good exposure for yourself. If you have any doubts, you can contact me at LinkedIn. I'll share the IDs soon. And if you want to register yourself in this challenge, I'll I think I'll put it in the comment section. So we have sent a form. A link is being sent in the chat. You can use that. Later we'll be putting in our social medias also for you to register. So thank you so much for attending, and think that wraps up our info session. If you have any doubts or any queries, you can put them in comment section. Or later, if you want to ask, you can contact us personally and you can ask your queries. So thank you so much for attending the info session. That's it. We wrap up. You will get a personalized mail from our club regarding further information about this solution challenge, how to start and where to start and how you can proceed. So thank you so much. God bless you all, and for this taking this moment to share with you people that if you want to build some solution in web development and you want to start something, DSC SREC is actually partnering with a ProGet learning scheme, and we give you a 1 week webathon. So you learn the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and how to deploy it to Git. We had actually had a session on Git and GitHub, and I and Srinivas, we took a session. So again, if you want to refresh those concepts, starting from February 19th to the next 7 days, we have a webathon from DSC SREC. So we'll be announcing the details about that webathon soon in our social medias. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be having new insights. We'll have conversations with industry experts, like how to build solution. If you want any programs from us, if you want any specific program, like hey, we need a program for UI UX designing, we need to know some basics and we need to know how to get started. If you create a session, it will be good. So if you have any queries and if you have any requests, you can reach out to us on our YouTube channel, on our social medias. So thank you so much. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.